Well, welcome everybody. We are so excited that today we have the opportunity to share with all of you how Cochlear is enhancing their contact center observability with Amazon Connect. I am Hannah Bloking, and I'm a senior manager of solutions architecture for Amazon Connect, which is part of our applied AI solutions portfolio. And in just a few minutes, I am going to be welcoming Andy McLaughlin on stage with me. He is a senior contact center leader for Cochlear, and he is going to be sharing a little bit about Cochlear's journey with customer experience transformation and how they're accelerating that transformation using AI. And it's truly one of the most innovative medical device companies in the world. So really exciting story that we have for you today. So just a little bit about me. So I've been with AWS now for a little over 5 years, and I've been with Amazon Connect for that time. I've spent about 20 years, my entire career in the contact center world, and after 2 decades in this space, I can truly say that we are in a very special moment right now. For really the first time ever, we have all the tools, we have AI at our fingertips and all the automation where we can really solve problems in ways that truly weren't possible before. So while we're here to talk about the future of customer experience and AI, I want to maybe point out something that everybody here has in common. Does anybody have any guesses what that is? Customer service, yes? Okay, actually it's that we're all human. So humans love a little friendly competition. So before we dive in, I don't know if you've actually had a chance to just kind of process that we're all here in Vegas together for the week. You're meeting all these amazing professionals from all different industries, all different sizes. We're learning from each other. But it can't be ignored that we're actually all sitting in a casino. I don't know if you all noticed that. So if you haven't had time to hit it yet, I haven't. We're just going to start off with a little game, so don't worry. I promise I will explain the rules to you first with a very easy one, but then I promise we'll catch on. So get your arms ready. This is going to be interactive. So just a practice round, how many cups of coffee have you had today? So you can shout at me, you can hold up your fingers with 1, 2, or 3. Oh, 4? Okay, 2. Okay, so good practice round. I've had 3. Okay, so you're all pros at the game now. All right, so how many Americans do you think work in a call center today? Is it 1 for 1 million or 2 for 3 million? You all are good at this. All right, so the answer is 3 million. And so that's a very, very big number. So in addition to delivering great customer experiences, we have to do this really efficiently. Because with numbers like this, millions of contact centers in the world, or contact center professionals in the world, efficiency is really what improves customer outcomes, and it's really what accelerates very big outcomes. So just by way of a quick data point there, Dish Networks is one of our customers. And they're using Amazon Connect, and they improved agent efficiency by 25%. So I did a little bit of napkin math. At 15,000 agents, that's like instantly adding almost 4,000 employees. So if you're wondering, how does a contact center at this scale do this? Well, I think you're in for a treat, because we're going to talk a lot about it today. And it's one of the reasons that I'm really excited to just start to dive in and talk about Amazon Connect and AI. Okay, next one. You guys are so good at this, though. I don't know. How long do agents spend on after-call work per call? 5 to 10 seconds or 15 to 30 seconds? Okay, 2. You all did it again. All right, the correct answer is 15 to 30 seconds. So in a contact center handling 1 million calls per year, saving 15 seconds per call is 4,000 agent hours saved annually. So every second where your agents aren't spent helping customers is significant when you think about that scale. But more importantly, handling these contacts efficiently is really what drives better customer outcomes. So for example, Saks, they deliver high-value service that they provide as part of a luxury brand. And using Amazon Connect, they were able to leverage generative AI to automatically convert 20-minute customer calls into brief summaries and reduce that after-call work by 15 seconds. So this is where they're seeing those real outcomes, where human agents are now empowered to elevate and personalize the experience their customers expect as part of a luxury experience. One more. Why do nearly half of contact center leaders say they want most from their quality management programs? A new scoring mechanism, or more time for analyzing and calibrating? Okay, 2, okay, yes. All right, so 46.4% of leaders say that they want more time for analyzing and calibrating. So they don't want to spend time drowning in spreadsheets and doing call listening that's manual, and really leaving less time for deriving actual insights. So now that you see how Amazon Connect customers like Traeger are using Amazon Connect to use insights that Amazon Connect provides to uncover trends, they can optimize their support operations and ultimately deliver better outcomes for their customers, which is really evident from a Traeger's CSAT increase, as you can see there. So, all right, thanks for playing along, everyone. I think everyone now is ready for the casino. So let's connect the dots from some things that we learned in this pop quiz. So first, we saw how massive the opportunity is for innovating in customer experience and contact centers, because 3 million Americans are working in call centers today, and that scale means every small gain matters. Second, we learned that even 15 seconds per call translates into thousands of hours saved for agents, and that's real efficiency that changes how work can get done. And then third, we saw that leaders don't just want more data. I think all of you probably have a lot of data. Is anybody like short on data here? Yeah, no, I think we all have lots of it. They want more insights, and they want to spend time improving the customer experience, not drowning in spreadsheets and other manual activities. So this is really where Amazon Connect comes in. Amazon Connect combines AI, automation, and observability to tackle these really massive challenges head on, so our customers can really transform their services into something that drives growth and loyalty. And you're going to hear a lot about that in just a few minutes from Andy. And so Amazon Connect is truly reimagining the contact center in this AI era that we're all in this journey on together. With Amazon Connect, businesses finally have a single platform that reduces operational complexity while delivering that intelligent, efficient experience that customers and agents and contact center leaders expect. And it's all backed by the innovation and the scalability of AWS. Across all industries, we talk to customers every single day, and we look forward to talking to you after the session. We're really seeing 4 big themes that we're anchoring all of our innovations in. So 1, AI that takes action, which means that we're giving our customers agentic capabilities that are smart enough to think and analyze and act autonomously. So this unlocks huge opportunity when you think about how you can transform your self-service customer experiences. Second, we're thinking about how you elevate your workforce with AI. So this is really our opportunity as contact center leaders to embrace this time where we can transform our agents into trusted advisors. And this is really where you can also think about how AI can work as a teammate to seamlessly hand off self-service interactions to agents when needed. Third, we think about how we transform that data that we all we know we have lots of, and how do we turn that into relationships. So this is where we're using customer data to drive personalization and driving advocacy for long-term customer relationships. Again, going to hear a great story about that in just a few minutes. And then finally, it's really about accelerating outcomes by delivering a level of operational agility and control at scale, where we can deliver customer experiences that allow you to manage quality at scale, and insights that truly previously you could only derive by doing manual call listening and doing something at a very small fraction of what you could do before. But I think I wouldn't be being truthfully honest here if I was going to say that this isn't coming at the cost of lots of challenges. And in customer experience, challenges that we are taking upon ourselves is amplified because of the scale and complexity that we're all dealing with. So first and foremost, we want to talk about how we action with AI, but many customers that we're talking to still rely on manual analysis and disconnected systems. So there's data silos, and truthfully, there's just a lot of data hygiene issues. So they can act on insights quickly, or they can't act on insights quickly, and that limits how much AI can actually automate. Second, of course, leaders want to empower their agents, but teams are already stretched very thin, and automation, of course, which we've all adopted different degrees of automation that helps, but AI has to be embedded into existing workflows to really gain the adoption and that feedback loop that's critical for success. So third, personalization, that requires visibility of the customer across all channels, and we talked to many customers today which still don't have that visibility across the entire customer experience set across all those channels. And then finally, we all are sitting here, we probably all are listening to a lot of sessions and great innovations about AI today, The potential is really clear, but adoption and integration into production workflows is really, really challenging. And without observability and insights and governance, scaling production workflows is going to be really, really hard and maybe impossible. So if we go back to those same 4 innovation themes, this is really where Amazon Connect comes in. So first, we have built-in AI and automation, and that allows Amazon Connect to bring those autonomous, intelligent interactions directly into customer interactions. So whether that's powering self-service experiences that are dynamic and they're lifelike, or performing and automating tasks that historically required one or multiple humans to complete, this is really a key part of Amazon Connect's foundation as an agentic solution. And it's really the first place where you see AI and humans truly working together, where agents can autonomously bring a human into the loop when needed. Second, Amazon Connect provides real-time agent assist capabilities where we can really start to think about how we can transform how agents work. And this is where agents can provide human agents with real-time insights, whether that's insights about the customer, company knowledge, processes, recommended actions, step-by-step guidance. That's all personalized based on what the customer objective is. Third, this all comes to life when you take that customer context and you leverage that to build relationships with your customer. And not only through those personalized interactions, but guiding them through the right products and services that may delight them based on exactly who they are as a customer. And then finally, Amazon Connect gives leaders visibility with built-in insights. And we have things like real-time insights and historical dashboards. And we provide the governance and AI-powered quality management tools. And this enables you to not only do all these things, but drive continuous improvements as a proactive business versus kind of a reactive customer service operation. And that's where you can start to see those performance and identity patterns and take action all from one place. And truly, this is how Amazon Connect bridges the gap for our customers, where they have these aspirations, they want to do all of these different types of things and new use cases, and this is how we allow our customers to execute with real results, like some of the ones that you saw earlier. And it's because Amazon Connect embeds AI and agentic capabilities into every single layer of the contact center. So our approach has earned the trust of tens of thousands of businesses that rely on Connect to handle over 10 million daily customer interactions. And this is the same platform that supports Amazon's 100,000 customer service associates in over 30 countries. And this scale isn't just about numbers. It really represents, every single logo up here represents real businesses solving real business outcomes. And this is really where we start to see how companies are trusting Amazon Connect to handle their most critical customer interactions. So we're going to hear from a very special customer, and this is really a story that truly brings all of this to life, a company that's not just delivering great customer experiences, they're really changing people's lives. So I'm going to introduce Andy to talk about how Amazon Connect is empowering Cochlear to have all the foundational elements they need to innovate fast and start to build in agentic experiences into their workflows. We'll talk about how they're transforming their business using built-in observability and real insights that they can take action on. And this is my favorite one. Third, but certainly not least, they're building a customer experience that matches that product innovation that, again, is really, truly changing people's lives. So with that, I am going to hand it over to Andy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Hannah. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much to everyone at the AWS Connect team for allowing me to come and talk to you guys about what Cochlear are doing with all the innovative features with Amazon Connect. So my name's Andy McLaughlin. I run the network and the voice team. I am more traditionally a network person, so the contact center is quite a new field for me. But my background, I guess, has a lot of similarities with networks in the contact center. I mean, in the 90s, I was doing BGP on ATM links for MCI. These days, we're running VPCs, TGWs on AWS with IAC. And about 20 years ago, got into voice. We started using DSPs, SBCs in the early 2000s. So I do love my three-letter acronyms, or TLAs. And I think there's a lot of those in the contact center world as well. So it's quite an easy transition to make with things like FCR, CSATs, and all the other acronyms, such as WFM, that I'll talk about in a little bit as well. So I've been at Cochlear now for 4 and a bit years. And when I first joined, we had a bunch of disparate contact centers. all around the world, and it was one of my first big projects was to get off those contact centers and have a real standardized setup. Customer experience is critical for how we operate. Interestingly, being a company that deals with the hearing impaired, the voice channel is our most popular channel and the way that most of our customers get through to us, and also how we deal with a lot of our B2B type work as well. So let me tell you our journey, how we've empowered the business with Amazon Connect, and we're transforming with agent observability, and you can't leave any session these days without the mention of the word AI, so I'll cover a little bit of that as well. So who are Cochlear? We are the world leader a world leader in implantable hearing solutions. So these are not hearing aids, it's actually an implant that is surgically inserted just above your ear, and it has a wire that goes in directly into the cochlea, and then on the outside you have a sound processor that enables people to hear. The latest innovation we've just done, in fact, is we have now just released back in June the first upgradable implant. Not only that, it has memory on the implant as well, so we're very much innovating in our space. We're the only organization that currently does that with hearing implants. So what do? They bypass the damaged components of the ear and go directly into stimulating the auditory nerve, and we have 22 electrodes that go into your cochlea that provide that the electrical signal that goes directly into the brainstem. So what do? They provide a lifetime of hearing outcomes. So a child could be born with profound hearing loss, or there's many other reasons in younger age where you might find that you've lost. So for instance, I believe meningitis has been a cause as well, where you have profound hearing loss. So one of the great things about what we can do is we can implant children, I think as young as 1 or 2 years of age, and they have much better outcomes with our implants because it takes a little while to adjust to them, and obviously if you've had it for all your known life, it's quite easy to adapt. But it's very important. They do provide a lifetime of hearing outcomes, so it's very important that we continue to innovate at Cochlear to improve the quality of our products, and this is why we love to partner with AWS. So the technology was invented by an Australian scientist, hence my accent. I'm from Australia as well, and the guy that invented it is Professor Graham Clark. His father had bad hearing loss, so he was quite a genius. He was on a beach one day with a blade of grass, and he put that into the shell and thought, hey, that is like how the cochlea looks, and how can I use that idea to inspire, or basically provide better hearing outcomes for people who have profound hearing loss and none of the functions of the middle ear work. So what's our global footprint? As mentioned, we were the first multi-channel cochlear implant. We can provide implants to people in over 180 countries. We have to date implanted 700,000 people with our products and improved their hearing and life. And we have to do this, we have to invest very heavily in R&D. So 3 billion Australian dollars to date has been invested. That's about $2 billion US dollars. And we continue to invest around 12% of our revenue in R&D. So partnering with AWS, as mentioned, it allows us to continue to innovate. All of our customer-facing apps, enterprise services, and of course our contact center runs on Amazon services or AWS services. And I mentioned Graham Clark before, so one of the things that we've just released about a month or two ago is our own internal AI walled garden, and we've done that by using AWS Bedrock and Agent Core, and we have named that Clark, so a nice name to give some really great things that Professor Graham Clark did for us. So let me share our journey on Amazon Connect, because that's what we're here to hear about, and how we've managed to empower our business, transform observability, and we continue to innovate with AI. So why Amazon Connect? We needed a standardized global contact center. We have contact center operations in 14 countries. So it was, at the time, we had multiple disparate systems. We had SaaS services, on-prem systems, managed services, depending on which country you're in. The US has the biggest contact center. Yeah, that was a very challenging sort of managed semi-on-prem. We had the PSTN services on-prem, the SBCs on-prem, but we had a data center and it was a managed service. So we had critical networking infrastructure that we needed to make that work, and we had lots of issues with that. So increased reliability was something that we were really after that you can obviously find in Amazon's cloud services. Because what's most important for us is that if a customer can't reach us, they may not be able to go about their lives, so they might need a part or something as soon as they can get to us by calling our device support teams, and they can get those, any replacement parts or anything they need expediently. And the other thing is that with issues with your contact center, your agents aren't performing as well as they should. They're trying to change soft phones to go to a backup call manager type system, and yeah, it's just not a great way to be running. You need reliability in a contact center, obviously. The other thing we needed is to have a lot of flexibility. So we have many diverse call flows. We have multilingual. We've got 14 different languages. As I mentioned, we have B2B services, business to customer services such as device support, orders and insurance, a pro care team, which is for clinical support, and sales. We also wanted something that could provide a lot better visibility for us. So at the time, we were doing, or even when we first moved to Amazon Connect, we were only able to evaluate the calls in which the supervisor would be able to listen to 3 calls for an agent per month, randomly selected, and our quality team would listen to another 2. So agents were only getting around 5, what we called scorecards per month done. Finally, the last thing is the innovation piece. I mean, obviously, the way and the pace at which Amazon innovates is something that is in great alignment with how Cochlear works and how we continue to innovate with our products as well. So how do we do it? We use a lot of extra Amazon services as well as Amazon Connect. So one of the first things there, I mean, we had 180 different queues in our US system. We managed to reduce those down to 40 queues. And we did that by using Lambda functions, talking to a Dynamo database. And that enabled us to have things like, depending on the language or the time of day, you didn't have to write whole new queues. You would just go and interrogate the database depending on the option that was pressed or the time of day it was. And that would then subsequently change what the IVR was doing. Amazon Polly, for those that don't know what Polly is, it is a text-to-speech service. So Polly can work in all the different languages in which we operate. Interestingly, it's very phonetic in certain language. My partner is from Finland. That is a very phonetically spoken language. So exactly what you wrote in Polly, it would come out perfectly. Now in America, the way that I pronounce Cochlear, or in Australia we do, it's pronounced Cochlear over here. So we had to actually write the word Coke, as in Coca-Cola, and then L-E-A-R in order for the Polly to pronounce Cochlear the way that it's spoken in this part of the world. As mentioned, 14 different languages, so it was perfect for our global operations. Right, so next up, call recording. We had call recording before, but we didn't have transcription, and we certainly didn't have sentiment analysis. Transcription really is a game changer for automation. I'll come to that in a bit, but you really can't do a lot unless you've got accurate transcriptions. Another part with transcriptions as well is that if you've got somebody who's called up, they've shared their credit card details, the agent hasn't paused that recording, we might find that we've recorded somebody's credit card number, which is bad for PCI. So we have a check that goes on where transcription reduction enables any credit card numbers, for instance, to be automatically removed from both the call recording and the transcription. So that's just a standard feature that comes with Amazon Connect, which was very helpful as a sort of backstop in case our agents failed to pause and resume the recording for PCI information. Lastly, Salesforce. We use that as our CRM. So we were able to integrate that, so the dialer is now within the Salesforce CRM. And not only that, we have screen pops, so depending on the customer's calling number, we're able to pop up immediately that customer's details. So it allows our agents to get to our customers' information a lot more quickly. So how do we do it? It took about 6 months. There's a lot of BA work, as you can imagine. We're reworking a lot of the IVRs and queues and try to like for like in a lot of it, but a lot of it we're trying to also optimize, as I mentioned, with the Lambda functions and DynamoDB. So we, as mentioned, 14 countries, 5 different AWS regions. Now the reason for that is because global organization like us and the way that telecommunications companies work, you need to your tenancy needs to be existing where those phone numbers come in. So for instance, in Asia, because of, I don't know any of you guys who have operated in Asia with telecommunications and voice, but it's a very challenging place to do it because there's so much regulatory activity. It's very hard to port numbers out of carriers there. So that took probably the most amount of time was the preparation of work with BAs and the time taken to port numbers into AWS. Well, we got there in 6 months, and the result of that is a significant improvement in stability and availability. In fact, that number there is not a lie. We have in our US contact center in US West 2, we have had 100% stability. It is exactly 2 years and 6 months since we went live. It was the 1st of June 2023, and we have not suffered a single outage during our operating hours between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. and a little bit on Saturdays, so Monday to Friday, 6 to 6, and then Saturday mornings as well. So no more telco outages, which has been great, and also it's been very good for our agents to have a much more reliable system and integrated into Salesforce as well. The other good outcome from this, obviously, was cost. So we actually saved from paying the managed service provider, the previous per user per month charges, the telco costs. We actually cut that in half by moving to Amazon Connect. So what next? So a couple of years later, which June this year, we've spent a lot of time enhancing our services. When we rolled out, we had a workforce management product that was not the Amazon product. We had quality management that was also another product. We had a lot of our BI tools, our dashboards, using a third product as well. So we were sending a lot of our data, PI data, to multiple systems, which our privacy team wasn't that keen on. So we made the move in June this year to go to Amazon's Unlimited AI. Now, moving to Amazon's Unlimited AI has opened up some really good things for us. First of all, not the Unlimited AI side, but we do a lot of customized reporting. So one of the great things that Amazon Connect provides is they have a data lake of pretty much everything that goes on, all the CTR information, everything that goes on with any call. And we have, for instance, a custom post-call survey that provides 3 variable results that are done at the end of the call. So that type of information is not available in the regular historic reports, but the great thing is you can use Athena, Glue, put it into QuickSight or QuickSuite, and you then have information that may not be available in historical reports. So we moved away from that BI tool. We now do everything with QuickSight, or QuickSuite, sorry. I'm still adjusting to the change in name. And yeah, that's how we're able to build custom reports. And I'll dig into that a little bit more a bit later as well. One thing as well is that we didn't have omnichannel. We still don't have a proper omnichannel. We have email and chat going through our CRM, but all of our voice calls are through Amazon. I wish they all were coming through Amazon as a routing engine, but I don't have as much sway with the CRM team as I'd like to. But one of the things that we needed to do as part of our observability and scorecarding was to do evaluations for email and chat. And luckily, Amazon have released tasks, and you can write auto-accepted tasks that then you can utilize them for chat and email if you don't have omnichannel, if they're still using a different system. I guess a key point here is that when we moved to this, the new automated quality evaluations, and we moved to the native FCS tool, I'll go into these in a bit more detail, but it was about 6 to 8 weeks training to get our the people who look after the quality team and the scheduling team to get up to speed and understand how to change everything, because it's quite a different looking system to the traditional WFM type and quality type scorecarding systems. what this has enabled us to do is we can now automate scorecards across all of our interactions, and we get much more accurate forecasting because of all the machine learning that goes on. So, what are some of the, let me dig into some of the really key features and how we've improved things. So, if you're going to be doing automated scorecardings, one of the most critical things is to have accurate transcriptions. So, Amazon Connect has a thing called custom vocabulary, and that is something that has significantly enhanced a lot of our brand terminology. So, for instance, we had one of our products is called OSIA, OSIA, and the amount of times that both agents or customers said OSIA, it had about 5% accuracy. It was coming into everything. It even said Aussie at some stage, which I thought was wonderful, but it wasn't accurate, an accurate transcription. So we went through a bunch of the transcriptions, and we found where this was being said transcribed incorrectly, and we were able to simply add all of these keywords in that were incorrect, and now we have 95% accuracy from 5% just by making those changes of a list of words that sound like this OSIA product. The other thing that having accurate transcription is searchable business data across all calls. As you know, agents don't necessarily input everything into a CRM that's said on the call. You probably don't want everything that is said on the call, but you can search all of these transcriptions. You can use rules and all sorts of things to find out if you're having issues with a certain product and finding trends, or seeing if a campaign is going well. So there's some really good use cases for having that accurate transcription. Oh, here we are. So the other thing down the bottom here. So enhanced reporting, I touched on this a little bit. So this was using the data lake, historical reports. And now what we're able to do is glue together a whole bunch of fragmented statistics that are in different areas. So obviously your workforce management, or your FCS, as it's called in Amazon, those statistics are stored in one section. You might have information such as our custom post-call survey that we're pulling out of the data lake, and then other things that are straight out of historical data, like the average handle time and things like that. You can then build customized scorecards with Quick Suite. You can have them so that teams can have like a team type dashboard, or individual agents can have dashboards as well. So there's a lot of customization that we've done to really bring all the specific information that we need to have in one pane of glass for our supervisors and executive teams. And last but not least, the real-time dashboards. We were able to very quickly provide a dashboard of which agents are logged on at the time, what the wait times were. It's quite simple to do. We could push that out to a TV screen, and we even had it so it could work on a mobile phone app. So as mentioned in June, we turned on unlimited AI. And the first thing I'll talk about here is the key to this session, which is all about observability. So automated evaluations. This is something that was a real game changer for us. As mentioned before, we're only scoring 5 agents per month. Right now, I looked at what happened in October when I was pulling this together, and we'd gone from about 1,000 evaluations per month to 22,000 now in October. We're not running this across all teams. We're still trying a bunch of different use cases for it, but it really has been a game changer. And I can't stress enough the reason why we can do that is because of the transcription accuracy. The good thing about moving to unlimited AI is you can have an unlimited amount of scorecards, or evaluation forms, as they're called. The other thing as well is that on a single call, you can have multiple evaluation forms. So there's many different types of evaluation questions you can have. There's the traditional manual ones, so that's just you pick a call, and it's a bunch of standard type questions that you would have when you're evaluating an agent or that call, and it's all manually inputted by the quality team. The second way is where the automation kicks in. So there's 2 parts of automation. One of them is what's called the category-based automation, which uses the rules, and then the newer way of doing things, which is Gen AI, and I'll cover a little bit of the difference between the 2 of those. So this is a rule-based setup. So as you can see here, we're looking at on the left-hand side there, we've selected words and phrases and an exact match. You go in, you create the rule, and on the right-hand side, you have a word list or a list of phrases or words. So these are out-of-the-box stuff. You can create your own ones. There is one that we created for profanities. I thought that probably was a bit rude to put up, but you can use that to determine anything that's going on with your agents. Depending on your industry as well, you can put specific stuff that's relevant to the calls that are going on in your industry. So this is the more traditional automated approach. You've got to really know what you're looking for. It's very deterministic. So as I mentioned, you can have a semantic match or an exact match. These are really good for compliance checks. If you've got specific regulatory compliance requirements and explicit policy violations because of the exact nature of the text that is being searched for there. And then here's the cool stuff, the Gen AI questions. So if you see down the bottom here, this is an evaluation form. It's got a bunch of questions on it. And down the bottom right there, the left one was the first one that I talked about that's not highlighted. That's just the manual form where you have to go in and actually do it yourself. The second option there is the categories and rules that I just mentioned. And the third option of what we've used here is Gen AI. So these are just real natural language questions you can put in. So did the agent show empathy, for example, or were profanities used? They adapt to context. They provide a much more subjective or interpretive scores and explanations than categories do, as it uses AI-generated reasoning for how it scores. It can be a strict yes or no, but you can also have expectations. So did it meet expectations somewhat, not at all, and so on. And it does provide an AI reasoning and some words to behind why it's come up with that particular score as well. So these are great for quality assessments and soft skill evaluations. Now remember, if you've got unlimited AI, you can just play with this stuff. You can run as many as you want. It takes a little bit of prompt engineering to get the Gen AI questions to work the way you want. And we're still, even after 4 or 5 months, playing with different ideas and different ways that we can use Gen AI here to put the questions in to help our agents. And that's really the benefit of all this, is that you can now, because you can score every agent, all their calls, you can now target the actual issues, the actual problems where there's a common question that might not be being answered correctly by an agent or so on, but you can target those by looking at the reporting and then use that to have much more targeted training for your agents as well. So it's a very good thing to have so much more automation and be able to score so much more. So this is the output that you see once you go into conversational analytics. It's now called. All those that know contact lens, this is that same thing. So at the top left there, you have all the details of the call, who the agent was, how long the call was, and then you have evaluation scores on the right-hand side there, and also sentiment analysis. And if you scroll down, that's where you can see the full call recording, and even below that, you have the full transcript. What is also happening here is you can have a full AI summary of the call as well. So where transcripts, you don't really want to be putting that into a CRM, you can have the full AI summary as part of this as well generated, and it puts what could be a 30-minute conversation into 2 paragraphs and succinctly provides a good piece of information that you can put back into the CRM. So we're looking at that at the moment, and that seems to be working quite well. Just to touch a little bit on the right-hand side there, as you can see, they're all weighted scores. I think 14.3, I think that must have been 7 or 8 calls there, and they're all weighted exactly the same, and they're all yes or no answers, so that's why they're all come in at that exact 14.3%, I think it says there. So what's next? This is doing it for human agents. I believe Hannah will be talking about the fact that you'll be able to do this with your self-service agents down the track. So what's next? Continue on with my 3-letter acronyms. FCS. So this is forecasting, capacity planning, and scheduling. I will call it FCS because it is a bit of a mouthful. But the wonder of the Amazon way of doing this is that it uses excellent machine learning for your workforce management. So out of the box, I'd recommend one of the first things you do is change it to 15-minute intervals in the scheduling. This allows for a little bit more accurate forecasting, but it adds a little bit more flexibility to your schedules as well with 15 minutes. And that increases agent happiness. And so we all like happier agents, and where they can actually have a bit more ability to have a 15-minute break at 15-minute intervals rather than half an hour. And this is reported that it can improve service levels by 10% as well. Now, we had 2 years of historic data when we went into this, so we didn't have to import anything. But if you're going to go live with Amazon Connect and you don't have any historical data on Amazon Connect, you need about 6 months of data, or 6 months or more, and around 2,000 contacts per month. And that's enough for the machine learning to start building your capacity planning and forecasting. So this is what forecasting looks like. This is a real example. So over time, we have had a very big uptick in our call volumes because of the new implants that we had released a few months ago. So this is showing on the left side there the forecast over time of the amount of calls we're expecting. And then to the right of that, you've got your contact volume. So there's the forecast amount in the red and the actual amount in the green. So you can see it's pretty accurate around how it is forecasting throughout a day, how many agents are needed or how many calls are needed, and how well that matched the forecast that was provided. Right, so after that, capacity planning, so the C and FCS. This is obviously all about making sure you've got the right amount of agents, FTEs, that are available. So as you can see here, I put the box to highlight where it's Thanksgiving and the December break. And as you can see, there's a significant drop in the number of FTEs needed because that's usually a quiet period. And that's learnt that from the last 2 years of historic data that we had in the system. And lastly, on FCS is scheduling. So this is an example of scheduling. I was in UTC time here, but this is supposed to be from 6 a.m. So this shows you where you can see the staggered breaks. This allows you to have automated schedule adjustments, simplified break management, and agent schedule adherence, which is obviously a key metric to track adherence to schedules. Also, all of this obviously enables you to make data-driven decisions. So contact center managers need to make data-centered decisions to boost agent productivity and reduce customer wait times. So now the last thing I want to talk to you about is the future innovation and the new things that we're doing and we're trying at Cochlear. So what we've been doing is testing a lot of our use cases internally. And the first thing that we started playing with was an interactive IVR, so using a self-service, the AI agent, to answer calls. We plugged in a bunch of KB articles, just threw them into an S3 bucket, pointed Amazon Connect at that S3 bucket for its knowledge base. And we had to play with this in our IT help desk. So you could call in, you could ask questions. Being the voice team, we had a bunch of questions about headsets and how they would work. And you were quite simply able to get a pretty decent response. You could do this with chat. Then if you weren't happy with the chat, you could say, I'd like to speak to an agent. That would escalate you to a real agent. And we had all of this working in a pilot that we ran for our help desk a month or two ago. We do have some challenges with our ITSM tool. My service delivery person isn't here, so but that's why we haven't implemented that fully. But it is something that we've had a lot of time to really get to understand how the AI agents work. Now, the second really cool thing we did with this was integrating it with Lex. So Lex is a conversational tool that allows you to have what are called slots, which are the basic type of questions or guardrails around what you can ask. We then linked that to Lambda functions that could talk to our AI walled garden, so the Bedrock walled garden that we have. And the really cool thing we did here was for our sales road warriors. So imagine you're out there, you've seen a prospect, you've come out of that meeting, and you need to update that lead in Salesforce. So what we're doing is you call into a number, it recognizes who the salesperson is that's called in. They can put a pin in to a bit of added security, and they sit there and they talk about the customer they were dealing with. That links it to because obviously Salesforce knows they were seeing that customer, so it's quite easy to link that to the right case. They put a description of the meeting in, and they talk about the next call objectives. We then throw all that using Lambda functions to Bedrock. Bedrock then ties all that, it packages that whole conversation up into all of the right fields that you can then input straight into the CRM. And your salesperson would be very happy that they don't have to go and log into Salesforce to do this, and they can do this straight after the meeting while it's all top of mind. So this is something we're just playing with at the moment, and we're hoping to roll this out to our sales teams later in the year. So I will stress, though, it's very important. I think everyone that talks about AI will say the same. Test this kind of stuff in your internal teams first before you unleash it into your public contact centers or customer-facing contact centers. Next thing I'd love to do is enable omnichannel. As mentioned, a bit hard for me to bring in the chat and the email from the CRM guys, but the benefits that would bring would be twofold. First of all of the automated evaluations, we would now be able to do those not just with voice, but with all the email and the chat, and we could have scorecards that are specific to a chat or to an email conversation that's gone on, rather than using the tasks, which is what we're using now. I mentioned as well as before the AI summary that comes with at the end of each call. When you turn that on, we're now using APIs to write that straight back in. So if there is a case that's created for the call, we know what the case ID is in Salesforce as part of the CTI integration, so we're able to write back a full call summary. Right, so what are the lessons that we learned? Leverage the power of Amazon services. There's so much flexibility there. I think I've mentioned all these, so Lambda, Bedrock, QuickSuite, DynamoDB, Lex, API gateways, S3 buckets. They were all critical for us to build the flexibility and allow us to have all of this integration with our own data. So, it's our AI walled garden, it's our knowledge bases that it's querying. So all these tools, and in particular Lambda, is a real key because it is basically the best way to use a microservice to link all of these things together. I mentioned transcription accuracy a few times. As I mentioned, that's critical to harness the automation and AI. If you've got industry terminology, company names, abbreviations, or different pronunciations, it's very important that you have accurate transcriptions for all of this automation that I talked about. Now, automated evaluations, they're amazing. I can't speak highly about how much we've managed to see now where we weren't able to see before, the amount of calls to be able to target issues and then provide that targeted agent trainings on all calls. And as mentioned, when to use the different types. So we had the rules categories, the compliance checks, specific regulatory requirements or policy violations, and generative AI is much better for soft skills evaluations, holistic performance reviews, and quality assessments and things like that. Scheduling and forecasting, as said, 15 minutes. Select that at the start. I think you only have one chance to do that when you first turn it on. So make sure you do that. You'll have happier agents. And as mentioned, if implementing at the same time you're implementing Connect, make sure you've got some historical data of your 6 months and at least 2,000 contacts per month. Fourth thing there is historical reports and the data lake. There's so much data there. It's ridiculous. You think there's a lot when you look at just the historical reports alone, but the data lake has got everything that you could possibly want that goes on the calls. And this has enabled us to have our evaluations with schedule adherence, post-call surveys, and all the other regular type contact center statistics all on customized dashboards for our supervisors and agents. And lastly, experiment, innovate. We've got a sandbox, allow your engineers to play with that. With Gen AI, you've just got to keep trying different things until you get the right outcome. And lastly, thank you very much. This is my last slide. I thank you very much for having me. It's been excellent to come here and talk about everything that we've done on Amazon Connect. And I think Hannah has some wonderful updates about some of the stuff and the great new features that have been released. So thank you, Hannah.
So I love this story so much because we talk a lot about how we're going to transform customer experiences and relationships, and the Cochlear story really highlights what could be more transformative than thinking about customers' lifelong experiences with a brand, like from babies to the age of 100. And then the second thing that really stands out to me about the story that they shared is really that just the experiences that they're creating for customer experience. The reason that their customers can actually engage with these contact center experiences is because of the innovative medical device solutions that they provide. So I just think that's such a phenomenal story. So we have launched a lot of really exciting features at this reInvent, and I'm going to highlight just a couple as we go through the rest of the session. So Amazon Connect now integrates Novasonic's AI speech model, which delivers a more natural and expressive conversational AI interaction. So it's a model that understands not only what customers say, but also how they say it and kind of mirror their energy. And that really enables that dynamic responses that adapt to customer tone and style. Additionally, some other things that are really critical as you're thinking about designing these agentic experiences, they can autonomously complete customer interactions. Not only can they adapt to voice responses, they can also escalate to human agents as needed. Second, Connect now brings data-driven quality management to AI interactions with automated performance analysis, and this is a capability that helps organizations understand AI effectiveness at scale with granular insights into the customer satisfaction, resolution rates, and interaction quality. So here's just a quick overview of what that looks like, but in this short little demonstration, you can see how we're automatically evaluating AI agent understanding and performance, reviewing the insights alongside recording and transcripts, and this is something that is also available with Amazon Connect Unlimited AI pricing. Next, a lot of customers that we work with are using Salesforce. Salesforce Contact Center with Amazon Connect now supports real-time AI agent assistance and contact summarization. This functionality leverages customer information and knowledge base articles from Salesforce CRM, and it provides unified views of customer data with Salesforce Service and Sales Cloud. Quick little demonstration of what that looks like, but in this short little video, you can see how we're using real-time voice transcripts and recommendations. We're enhancing call monitoring in Salesforce and also allowing for automated post-contact case updates. Amazon Connect, great story by Cochlear and Andy about their implementation of forecasting, capacity planning, and scheduling. We now offer a multi-skill scheduling capability, which improves how contact centers can really utilize their specialized talent by intelligently matching agents with multiple skills to forecasted demand patterns. And this enhancement allows organizations to strategically deploy valuable multi-skilled agents, such as, for example, bilingual staff during their peak periods, while maximizing their utility during those off-peak times with general inquiries. So quick little demonstration of this. This really shows how we can help to reduce staffing gaps in specialized queues through intelligent scheduling of cross-trained agents. And it also enables a dynamic workforce optimization across multiple service dimensions simultaneously. And then the last one that I'll talk about is now in preview. Amazon Connect now allows for AI-powered predictive insights that transform customer understanding through 5 recommendation algorithms. So this is where the system analyzes customer behavior patterns and their interaction history to really provide those tailored suggestions during both self-service and agent interactions. So a quick little demonstration of this, but this is just a quick little example. That's actually Pasquale De Maio. He's our VP of Connect. He's a customer in this example. But in this example, you're showing from the agent perspective, we're recommending similar and recommended items to him, frequently paired items for cross-selling and popular and trending items. In this example, he's a big K-pop fan. If you see him walking around, he's wearing a Connectrix K-pop shirt. So you'll see what I mean when you run into him. But that's really what we had for you today. We have a ton of great content lined up for you at reInvent. Please, try to come and see all these new sessions. And if you would like to talk to any of us directly, a lot of us are going to be hanging out in the Village booth at A13. And so not only can you come talk to different experts and learn about these capabilities in depth, we'd love to learn about your use cases and talk to you about where you are in your contact center journey. And if you'd like to explore any of these capabilities that we talked about today in any detail, anybody at our booth can give you an in-depth demonstration as well. So thank you so much. We really enjoyed our session with you all. Hope you have a great reInvent. Thank you.